Just moments ago, President Trump speaking with reporters about an American citizen arrested in Israel for attempting to firebomb the U.S. Embassy in Tel Aviv and making threats on social media towards the president.
Issued threats against your life.
Against my life?
Against your life, yes, sir.
We've got a lot of them around. We've got a lot of sick people around. Thank you very much, everybody.
Well, 3 Molotov cocktails were found in the detained man's backpack, who also threatened President Trump. More details on this attempted firebombing of the U.S. Embassy in Tel Aviv in just minutes. But we begin tonight at the White House, where NewsNation's Libbey Dean is standing by. And Libbey, within just the last hour, President Trump issuing a strong message to Russia's Vladimir Putin: stop the attacks on Ukraine.
Natasha, some of the strongest criticism from President Trump of Putin yet. Trump calling the Russian president out for the most recent drone attack on Ukraine and saying he's absolutely considering more sanctions against Russia.
I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all.
This comes after Russian forces launched the largest air attack since the war began, an attack of 367 drones and missiles at Ukrainian cities, all this happening overnight. Now, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that President Trump's silence over these attacks by Russia was only encouraging Russia's president to continue these assaults. But President Trump issuing Putin a strong warning today and very critical with these most recent comments, Natasha.
And Libby, President Trump also commenting on his so-called big, beautiful bill making its way, and ending up back in the House after senators have raised some concerns. What can you tell us about that?
This is a new thing, Natasha, that he's open to now. This Big Beautiful Bill, the Big Beautiful Bill Act, ending up back on the House floor and back in committees to be debated after the changes are made in the Senate. Let's listen to what the president had to say.
Well, I want the Senate and the senators to change, to make the changes they want, and we'll go back to the House and we'll see if we can get them. So I think the Senate is going to get there. I hope they're going to get there. I think they're going to have changes. Some will be minor and some will be, fairly significant.
President Trump acknowledging there that there could be some significant changes to this bill. President Trump also complimenting Senate Majority Leader John Thune and House Speaker Mike Johnson for working hand in hand on this bill. Both leaders saying that they hope to get this bill to the president's desk by July 4th. That is the deadline that they have set. Natasha?
And meanwhile, new details about the ongoing trade battle between the U.S. and European Union. So, Libby, the president pushing back his June 1st deadline. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Natasha, we were tracking this call earlier this afternoon, and President Trump just confirming that this call with the president of the European Commission did happen and announcing that major trade decision, extending that June 1st deadline to up EU tariffs. Now he's pushed it to July 9th, over a month away. Now, Trump previously said we're going nowhere they were going nowhere. These negotiations with the EU were going nowhere, and then threatened to tariff the EU at 50% starting on June 1st. Now he's pushed that to July 9th. And this was up from the original 20% that the president threatened to tariff the EU, because President Trump claimed that they had been very difficult to deal with in these negotiations that we've now seen took place on a phone call, getting on the phone for the first time here since that post on Friday with the president of the commission to discuss this. And now he says he's agreed to push this tariff upping deadline until July 9th. Natasha.
Okay. Libbey Dean live at the White House tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.